When most women get pregnant, everyone starts talking about what they need to buy, what supplements to take, and what milestones they should be tracking. Within about 5 minutes of announcing you're pregnant, someone has already sent you a stroller recommendation, 3 different birth podcasts, and a list of foods you're apparently never allowed to enjoy again. And don't get me wrong, those things matter and they're important. But if I could sit down with every expecting mother and tell her to focus on one thing before any of that, it would be the health of her nervous system. Why? Because the nervous system controls every cell, tissue, and organ in her body and in her developing baby. And if we're talking about creating the healthiest environment possible for a growing baby, that's where the conversation really needs to begin. What's fascinating is that your baby's nervous system begins developing incredibly early. In fact, it starts forming around 3 to 4 weeks after conception. For many mothers, that's before they even know they're pregnant. At that point, most women are still trying to figure out why they're suddenly so exhausted and why they are crying during a commercial about dog food. Meanwhile, the nervous system is already hard at work developing in that baby. Before tiny fingers have formed, before many organs are fully developed, the nervous system is already getting to work. That's important because the nervous system isn't just another system in the body. It's the master communication network, directing the development of every other system. It influences movement, digestion, immune function, stress adaptation, and how your baby learns to interact with the world after birth. If you were building a house, you wouldn't start with decorations. You start with the electrical system. That's essentially what happens during fetal development. The body builds communication first. Throughout pregnancy, the brain develops at an astonishing rate. Areas like the cerebellum, which helps coordinate movement, learning, attention, and emotional regulation, are rapidly maturing. At the same time, the autonomic nervous system and vagus nerve are developing. These systems help regulate sleep, digestion, breathing, immune function, stress resilience, and adaptability. In many ways, your baby isn't just growing bigger each week. The nervous system is learning how to run the body. It's building communication pathways and creating the framework that every other system will depend on after birth. And if the nervous system is directing development at that level, it raises an important question. What kind of environment is that developing nervous system receiving information from every single day? That's where the connection between mom and baby becomes incredibly important. When most people think about the umbilical cord, they think about nutrients and oxygen. And they're absolutely right. But I think we've dramatically underestimated how connected mom and baby really are. For 9 months, your baby is learning about the world through you. Your physiology becomes their environment. The hormones circulating throughout your body become part of their environment. The signals being sent through your nervous system become part of their environment as well. In many ways, the umbilical cord acts like a power cord connecting mom and baby. Not just delivering nutrients, but connecting 2 incredibly intertwined physiological systems. Now, stress itself isn't the enemy. Stress is part of life. The goal isn't to eliminate stress. The goal is adaptability. And a healthy nervous system is designed to experience stress, respond appropriately, and then return to a state of recovery when the challenge is past. The problem is that many people today never truly come out of stress mode, and pregnant mothers are certainly not immune to that. Modern life is demanding. Many mothers are balancing careers, family responsibilities, busy schedules, endless information online, and the physical demands of pregnancy itself. Not to mention the fact that the internet somehow manages to convince pregnant moms that every decision is the most important decision they'll ever make. That's enough to stress anybody out. Think of the nervous system like a gas pedal and a brake pedal. The gas pedal is your fight or flight response. The brake pedal is your rest, digest, and heal system. Healthy nervous systems can move between the two. The problem is that many expecting mothers are spending most of their pregnancy with their foot stuck on the gas pedal. They're driving through life with one eye on a pregnancy app, 17 browser tabs open, and a brain that won't stop wondering if every little symptom they're experiencing is normal or not. That's not exactly a recipe for nervous system regulation. That's exactly what we saw with Gabriella. When Gabriella first came into her office, she was 25 weeks pregnant. She was exhausted. Sleep was becoming difficult. Her stress felt overwhelming. She was dealing with back pain and low energy, and honestly, she was trying to push through what she assumed was a normal pregnancy experience. Like many mothers, she believed this was simply part of being pregnant. Not necessarily healthy, not necessarily optimal, just normal. But when we evaluated her nervous system, a different picture started to emerge. And this is one of the reasons why our approach looks so different. Because if the nervous system is controlling adaptation to stress, shouldn't we understand how it's functioning? We measure so many things during pregnancy. We measure weight, we measure blood pressure, we perform ultrasounds, we do blood work, lab work. All those things are valuable, but very few providers are actually measuring nervous system function. That's why we use our neurological insight scans. These scans allow us to measure how the nervous system is adapting to stress instead of simply guessing. We use heart rate variability, thermal scans, and surface EMG scans to evaluate patterns of stress, tension, and communication within the nervous system. Most providers measure symptoms. We measure function. For many expecting mothers, this becomes a huge light bulb moment for them because suddenly they're realizing they're not crazy, they're not lazy, they're not even failing at pregnancy. The nervous system has simply been working overtime. And this is where neurologically focused chiropractic enters the conversation. And I want to be very clear. The pelvis absolutely matters during pregnancy. I'm Western certified. We evaluate pelvic balance. We care deeply about how the body is adapting physically throughout pregnancy. But we also ask a different question. What controls the pelvis? It's the nervous system. That's why we focus on nervous system function first. Because when communication between brain and body improves, the rest of the body has the opportunity to function better as well. Neurologically focused chiropractic care is designed to provide specific input to the nervous system. The goal isn't simply to help someone feel better, although that often happens. The goal is to help the brain and body communicate more efficiently. One of the key systems we're supporting is the parasympathetic nervous system, sometimes called the rest, digest, and heal system. This system is heavily influenced by the vagus nerve, which plays a major role in regulation, recovery, digestion, stress resilience, and adaptability. Because pregnancy isn't just about growing a baby. It's about adapting to one of the biggest neurological, hormonal, and physical changes a human body can experience. As Gabriella's nervous system became more regulated, she began sleeping better. She woke up with more energy. Her stress became more manageable. Her back pain resolved, and her baby arrived. After her baby arrived, she continued to see benefits for her family as well. Today, she describes her son as sleeping wonderfully, having a regulated digestive system, and being a calm and happy child. Now, every pregnancy is different. Every mother is different. Every baby is different. But Gabriella's story reminds us of something incredibly important. Pregnancy isn't just about preparing for birth. It's about creating the healthiest environment possible for development. One of the most powerful ways to do that is by supporting the system that controls everything else, the nervous system. If you're pregnant and you've never had your nervous system checked, I'd honestly encourage you to start there. We measure so many things during pregnancy, but very few people are actually looking at how well your nervous system is adapting to all the physical, chemical, and emotional stresses that comes with growing a baby. If you're in the Murfreesboro area, I'd love for you to come get your scan at Milestone Family Chiropractic. It takes only a few minutes, and it's completely non-invasive and can provide some incredible insight into how your body is handling the demands of pregnancy. We'd love to see you, answer your questions, and help you create the healthiest environment possible for both you and your baby. Because a healthier pregnancy, it doesn't start at birth. It starts with the environment your baby is developing in from the beginning.